That's why people aren't scared of it, because they're seeing it. Oh, everybody's got it.
The CDC director, and this is I want the kids to go back to school, and I said it because I have no kids. The CDC director says it's critically important for public health to open schools this fall. That's the CDC calling this.
Why would they say that?
Well, the director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, he tweeted today. That it is critically important for public health to open schools this fall. So Dr. Redfield is the guy's name, Robert Redfield. He looks nothing like Robert Redford, by the way. No. Sorry, ladies. He looks more like a male version of Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire was a male.
I know, but if Mrs.
I see where you're going.
Right.
All right. He looks like he could play Mrs. Doubtfire if he wanted to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. Right. So,
this poor fella. He's going to sue us. He's going to get $250 million. Say it. Should I look like Mrs. Doubtfire?
I don't have it. He posted a warning to parents that school closures have disrupted normal ways of life for you and your children, and they have had negative health consequences on our youth. So in an updated advisory, the CDC emphasized the importance of children returning to school this fall for their educational and social development. At the same time, the U.S. Health Agency stressed to concern the parents that the best available evidence indicates that COVID-19 poses relatively low to school-aged children.
Right.
So how many kids you got, VIP Bethany?
I have 2. My
Right.
son is 16 months, and my daughter's 3.5.
Do they go to school at that age?
No. And I'm a
No wonder why
helicopter
they're
mom.
so dumb.
Okay.
Not your kids. No, not specifically your kids. I'm saying overall kids.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I thought you called my babies dumb.
No, not your
No,
babies,
they're
like
so
kids.
smart. Okay, no. So people are saying wear masks, but let our children be guinea pigs.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen the way kids cough? It's like full open mouth.
Uh-huh.
There's not. A child's gonna take a mask off and spin it around.
Yeah.
No.
I do the same thing with mine.
I think it should be addressed regionally. I don't
Okay.
understand why we're putting a giant Band-Aid on the whole very diverse country when we have different pockets. I think that we should let the localities control
Of course.
that.
Well, I think that's who does make the final decision. You know, especially take here in Tennessee. You know, Montgomery County, they will decide. The Clarksville Montgomery County Education Association.
The federal government shouldn't bully them into it.
No. Well, I mean, they're bullying us into wearing masks.
Say it's a recommendation for the CDC.
You know, you can't pick and choose. You know, if they bully you into wearing a mask, why would not bully you into telling you to open up your schools? I mean, which ones do we fight? Let's see, Mike. Schools. You're around young students and pupils when you train them, right?
Correct. Yes.
Do they make a good point that these school-aged individuals are at lower risk?
We had it's easiest for me when I have something relative that I can actually put my hands on. So something that I've had actual interaction with, which we had one case of COVID that was positive at the gym.
At the gym, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was a young man. I had just been tested because we were in the UFC with Nate. So
Yeah.
they test you the hole in the nose thing and everything, which wasn't as bad as people made it out to be, by the way. I don't know if has anybody else had that.
I asked for the rectum testing. Yeah. It's much more accurate.
They have to swab it like this. But we were trying to convince one of the guys when we were getting the test. Yeah, like they do it rectally. He's like, no way, man. He's like, I know better. I know who's telling me. But he had it. He called us. He actually called me right away. And when I say kid, he's 20 some years old. He fights. But he's like, hey, coach, my work tested me. I don't know if I had it before I was at practice last or after. So immediately we let everybody know that had interacted. And we're always cleaning the gym a ton, and especially now with COVID, it's like overdone, mopped, repeated, everything done to it. So, but none of the guys, everybody went and got tested that was there. None of them tested positive, but he was in quarantine for 2 weeks. So he hit me up. He's like, Coach, can I come back? I'm like, absolutely. We want you to come back as soon as possible. So everybody's there, and we're like, so what was it like? He's like, I don't know. He's like, every day I woke up going, No,
Is it
Okay,
here?
no.
Is it here?
Yeah. So
Right.
so he was completely asymptomatic.
Right.
I mean, as far as a whole, is just like with my little bit of soapbox time is, I think we're handling it incorrectly. I think our government had to handle it the way they did. Otherwise, the blowback, if something had went wrong, would have been way worse.
Yeah. People covering
So-
their asses. I understand.
But really, what I think we should have done, and what we could still do, is the people that are most at risk of it are people who are elderly, and I mean, elderly and infirm and with pre-existing conditions. I figured what would be best is to keep our society moving the way it is, yet spend these extra dollars on making sure these people, say your grandmother lived with you, Joe, is we're contacting you through the government saying, hey, what can we do? Do we need to have a clean vehicle and clean shopping stuff to bring things to you? How can we help support these people that are truly at risk? Because, I mean, we're just basically, we're organisms. If we think we can shelter ourselves completely from something like this, and that's somehow going to fix it, that's probably not the case. I mean, we have to build immunities, we have to do certain things, and I think it's just wrong to even be shutting down anything.
No, these kids, these are the perfect time to build up immunity, and that's something I wish we promoted more of, is building immunities. Face mask. How about freaking taking some zinc? How about pushing that?
Well, we could,
You know what I mean?
She's all on. She's like, take this, or you're
Yeah.
going to get sick. And
That's
take
right.
it.
Here's my zinc. I love it.
There's some great points, and I think, if anything, hopefully we will learn something from this relatively minor pandemic, so that when the big one comes one of these days,
The big
that
one.
we'll have had some practice,
Yeah.
and say, how do we handle this? Well, you quarantine the elderly and the vulnerable. You put your resources into protecting those folks. You let everybody else, run
Exactly.
around and develop their herd immunity, and you focus your resources on where you need to.
Lawyer Wayne, you got 9 kids,
I do.
and you homeschool them.
I do.
And you've always homeschooled them, not just since like the shutdown. You've
we've
always
always
homeschooled them. What is the homeschool community?
Man,
what
I
are they
feel-
saying about all this?
I feel bad for we're going to have a bunch of kids who basically wasted their last semester, and who knows what's going to happen this one. Especially the kids going through high school this year, I feel they're going to be at a huge disadvantage. Kids in college, when they shut down the colleges and such, I think the homeschoolers are going to have a huge advantage in that they were able to complete their schooling in a normal fashion, where everybody else spent this year in chaos.
How about that track star who was a senior in high school who was going to get that scholarship, and, well, no track season last year.
It's
Well, that happened to look at, they
Right.
didn't even have the NCAA wrestling tournament. I mean, think about that effort that those guys put in to get to, I mean, it's,
How about the Olympians?
well,
Sometimes this was their only shot in 2020. Well,
we've got one young man that we're looking at, I mean, he's got a legitimate shot now that they picked up kickboxing in the Olympics, so it's not this time around, but next time, so.
kickboxing's a sport?
Yeah, it is. So,
It's a joke.
but
It's a
I was
joke.
I know, but I was going to mention the fact that a reliable source. Again, it's kind of hard because there's so much information and misinformation. You hate to regurgitate things that you just heard on the internet. That commercial, you remember that, Joe?
Which
Well,
one?
he's a French model.
Oh, yeah.
on the internet. So,
I heard
so
that.
but
He's a friend. It was his dad.
but this came from a reliable source, and they were referencing the fact that during the Spanish flu pandemic, that people over the age of, I believe it was like 46, some of them had less of a reaction to the symptoms and things of that nature because they had been alive during a similar outbreak of something similar. So their antibodies and things and
Yeah.
I thought it was an interesting story. Did I follow up directly into it? No, that's why I'm putting the caveat that this was something that was explained to me. and
Remember
it makes
H1N1? Right? Where was the mask mandate then?
It wasn't very bad. This one
Wasn't very bad.
this was pretty aggressive. We've lost,
Of course it was
lost a lot
aggressive.
of people.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Next one might be even worse. Need to think about these things.
yeah. I need to think about.
or be careful that we didn't cry wolf too hard on this one.
Okay.
And that the next one that comes along, everybody's going to be like, oh, I remember COVID-19. They made us all wear masks. It did nothing. They shut us down. It ruined our economy for no good reason. But it's going to be serious next time, and they're all going to not react hard enough.
Absolutely. And I have kids coming to the gym all the time now because they don't have anything else to do.
Because they don't have sports to go
They
to.
don't have sports. I had 50 wrestlers, and I mean state champ. I mean, it's been and we don't really charge hardly anything.
How do you sleep at night reaping all the benefits?
Yeah, because I'm making
Right.
I pay for that gym every month. So I mean, it's just, but I love it, and it's my baby, and we're building and doing things. But I want these kids to have opportunities.
Yeah.
And these parents are like fed up. They're like, no, I want my kids to have a normal life, and they realize that there's risk involved with that. You know what I mean? Like we have on our waiver, like please realize that by, participating in these type of activities in this facility, you are putting yourself and or your child at greater, at greater risk of pathogens and even including COVID-19. So, we try and stay above and, like open with everybody, but you've got to live your life, man. I mean, this is just insane.
What about the ones who guilt the people who say that?
I've kind of, what's funny is being a business owner, it's hard because there's times you want to really get on your soapbox. But you also don't want to alienate anybody. Yeah. And the masses the human being as an individual can be a very intelligent creature. Is in mass, it can be one of the stupidest things God ever created, right. And we've all seen that. So I mean, I have to be very careful on where I stand heavily on one thing or another. And really, to be completely honest with you, on a lot of things, I'm in the middle. I'm a social liberal, but a fiscal conservative. Yeah. I don't believe in a lot of government. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a lot of freedoms. So it's kind of hard when you watch people do such stupid things. Across the board. And I have a problem with this COVID stuff, and I'm saying it on here. I believe it's a danger. I also believe that you get the whole all lives matter. Well, what happened to really, there's billions of us, almost no lives matter. I mean, I'm not being callous. I'm just saying is like, you have to decide what is the fatality. What are we at? 99.97.
Yeah, the death rate. The death rate's plummeting, and
it's just like, what are you doing? I don't get it.
And it's plummeting because of a couple different things. First of all, massive testing, especially here in the U.S. No other country has tested the amount of we has tested.
Right.
So you increase the test numbers. Okay. Oh, I got it. Like you said with your fighter, I got it. I'm waiting for a symptom. Right. But
right.
Doesn't matter, asymptomatic, right? Sure. But then on top of it, you got this, and VIP Bethany, this one's for you. the people who are afraid and have emotion, and I believe that they really are scared. Mm-hmm. I see it in their Facebook paragraphs that they send me. All right, I get it. You're scared. Do they want me to be scared also? So they feel better?
I think people are afraid, and to play the devil's advocate a little bit, with the massive push for masks and distancing, and some people are following it, some people are still quarantining, some people are still like social distancing to the extreme, and I think that we only know that prevention doesn't work when a catastrophe happens. If prevention's working, it's going to look like everybody's overreacting. So if we're wearing masks, if we're being a little bit more socially conscious about what we touch and how close we are to people, maybe the prevention is working.
But if Montgomery, I'm sorry, Lawyer Wayne.
And that may be, that's what I fully expect come November to be the message. Because you can easily imagine Trump coming out and saying, okay, our projections said 2 million deaths. How many people have died? Yeah, I saved that many people.
Right. Yeah.
It worked. I did it.
Right.
Pat myself on the back.
But then bringing it down to the local focus, okay? And the face mask comes up because, again, I mean, I like to play somewhat of a chess. Okay, you're forced to wear a mask, okay, if you want to go to public. Hey, we got a vaccine. If you want to go to Publix, if you want to go to Kroger, which, by the way, it's kind of like how it is, you have to get this vaccine. And that's the point that I'm trying to avoid. Mm-hmm. But, like Montgomery County, the active number of COVID cases, 779 in Montgomery County. Population of, underballing, 200,000 Montgomery County. So really close to 210,000, okay? But 200,000. Do the math. Boom. Divide that, 779, 200,000. That is 0.0038 of the population.
And is our mayor going to get credit for that?
Okay.
He's going to say, look, we took the appropriate measures, and look how great we did. Pat ourselves on the back. Great job, community.
But that number was on Monday when the mask mandate started.
Right.
So why do you have to have a mask mandate when your population is 0.003 active? 38 active.
Because if you don't, then every case after that is going to be blamed on you. I know the political.
That's reality. Exactly it. Because you're talking about the political aspect of things. I think as a politician, you're playing a game that is way different than what we're doing, just trying to stay healthy. You're looking at is whether it's Donald Trump at the highest levels or our mayor, is you have a certain responsibility, and you have people that are directly working against you, either in the political atmosphere or in other aspects. And If it's good, they're going to come at you and say it wasn't you that made it good. And if it's bad, they're going to come at you right away and say that you made it bad.
Well, it's interesting because it's a weak mandate, not like weak like unlike my arms, but like a length in time.
Right. They just extended it to another week.
Did they?
Yeah.
It's
So,
till August 3rd
again,
now.
Really?
I don't know. I think our mayors are doing a really good job, and I think
I
that-
like our mayors.
I love them, and I think that our public health director Joey Smith is they're working so hard, and there's not a playbook for a pandemic, and they have constituents of all age ranges, and we're a pretty similar age group. We have low risk, I would assume. But we also have a really high aging and elderly population in Montgomery County, and our mayors want to protect them as well.
I know, and at the same time, if I don't want to go see older people, I have a right not to go see them.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
No, for sure. I just think that it's so hard to navigate right now.
Yeah, I know, and I think it's too easy to say all masks or no masks.
I think politically, there's no way the mayors couldn't have put out a mask requirement.
But there will be backlash. There will be backlash.
There will.
I promise you that. But I mean, and I love Mayor Jim Doherty. Comes on the show for crying out loud. We have a good time. But here's the thing, though. He terms out. There's no re-election for Mayor Jim Doherty.
Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
He terms out. I believe that's accurate. And that's why I believe it was a county decision, not a city decision.
Well, I think, too, is one of the things we looked at because I don't want to wear a mask anywhere.
Uh-huh.
I just don't.
Me neither.
But at the same time, I respect people's, as far as if you pay your taxes in your business and, if I walk into Kroger's, I'm not there to buck the system to the point of being an ass.
I know.
I'm going to, if that's your private business, I'm going to try and respect what you're trying to follow, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, I'm in your business. Right.
Now, if I wanted to create a gym that allowed smoking,
Uh-huh.
and I failed because of it, that's on my
Can you with cigars?
policy. No, you can't get on any of the treadmills or go out there sparring with a cigar, Joe. Although that would be a great picture opportunity.
I would love that.
But within limitation, as you try and follow what it is, and I wanted to clarify real quick when I mentioned the all lives matter, it wasn't referring to the
No, yeah,
the
no, I know.
situation.
Well, I
And
gotcha.
no
Yeah.
lives matter is you're falling in between it because
Oh, I like that movement. The No Lives Matter.
Well, I thought about that.
The
only
No Lives
because,
Matter
I mean,
movement.
our attachments are emotional attachments to people, and as good human beings, of course, I'm the guy just like you that if somebody needed something, I'm going to stop and help them whether I know them or not.
Right.
But when you look at the grand scheme of things, there's billions and billions of human beings, and you look at the emotional reactions, and the reactions is what we do as social creatures sometimes compared to what the actual numbers tally.
Right, and I'm sick of people in Bay. I bet you've seen this too, where people with their arguments, especially on social media, it's something that we have to use though, where it's a copy and paste argument.
Yeah.
Why? Why do they feel secure? Well, look at this, copy paste this. Like, do they expect me to read this?
Yeah. Because they can't say the words themselves or type it,
But stuff like that makes me think that, and the one guy that's coming on the show Wednesday, that he doesn't agree with what I think on face mask and everything, and he's another link sender, but he's a nice guy, he's a link sender, right? And then he goes, I don't know about coming on the show. I'm like, oh, we got him. He's going to come on. This is great. He goes, you're not going to change my mind. I'm not going to change your mind.
That's the whole point.
That's what I said. I said, I'm not looking. That's not my job here to change people's minds. I want people to change my mind. Teach me. I want to learn.
Or even if you don't change each other's mind, you get to know each other better and understand the other
Yep.
person's perspective better.
He can't come in, though. He'll have to call, but
Oh, okay.
health issues. Listen, you're a strong man. You're tough. You lived in Jersey. I stalked him a little bit.
He's like, I'd come in, but Joe doesn't wear a mask.
Listen, we can have these face-to-face mask conversations. It'll be fine. I'm not wearing a face mask, especially when I'm not in a
Just
publicly
social
accepted.
distance.
6 feet.
We're
right.
distanced.
I know. Did you see McDonald's requiring all face masks? Right? If you go in there, you want to eat McDonald's?
Yep.
Face mask.
Okay.
Yeah. My question is though, what about drive-through? They don't require if you go through drive-through.
I went through the drive-through at McDonald's the other day on the way to the show.
Right.
Paid for a coffee.
Yeah.
Didn't get a coffee.
What'd you get?
What'd you get?
I got nothing.
Why?
They had me pull forward. I waited about 15 minutes. Had to come to the show. It's $2 I ain't getting back.
15 minutes.
I got a beef with McDonald's now.
It don't take that long to make coffee.
You didn't like knock on the door or like.
I was
So
gonna
they
say,
got
did you
like a
fall
third
asleep
window
or
there. They
something?
had to
Wait,
go
who
to.
waits 15 minutes
That's
for a coffee? But
patience.
I was like, I've been out of the car in 2 minutes. But I have some caffeine.
For
So-
McDonald's coffee at that.
How long
It's
did it
not
take
that
to
bad.
brew a pot of coffee?
That's what I was wondering. You know,
Oh my gosh.
they originally gave me a bag full of food. I'm like, guys, I just ordered a coffee. And gave it back to them. They're like, all right, pull forward. Yeah, about 10 minutes later, I was like,
Now,
I'm getting it.
in this McDonald's article, they mentioned the 4 million, surpassed the 4 million mark here in the U.S. of confirmed cases.
Okay.
Here's the problem, though. They're not reporting recovered with that 4 million. It is not 4 million people in the U.S. right now running around, hey, COVID's here.
That's how many cases we've had total since
Right.
the beginning of it, not how many current cases we
Right.
have.
But they love just pushing that big number.
So what is the current cases?
Hey, I can't even get that. I'll get that number by Monday. Okay?
So what
Like
they
active
saying is
cases.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any real way to track that.
Here's the thing. There is. There is.
What do you do? Test them again and see if they're better?
But it's tough, though. But, yeah.
But then if you test them again and they're still positive, it gets counted as
It's
another
counted as
case.
a new
a
test.
new case.
Possibly.
Telling you, my friends, please take it easy. Calm down. All right? Have a logic head going on here.